So much creativity on show. Thanks so much for sharing your garden with us. And right now we're going to be continuing with a theme of container gardening and all the different ways that you can create spectacular spaces using containers. I'm joined by Marcus Young from Bloomers Nursery in Elgin. Welcome back to the show. It's always great to have you here.
Well, thanks, Tom. It's great to be here again.
And you have brought a spectacular array of plants in containers for us to talk about. And this is, for me, it's a favorite topic because you can create a container garden almost anywhere.
Well, yeah, you're really only limited by your imagination. You can move them around and really get a lot of great combinations with different containers.
I used to say I was kind of addicted to pots, plural.
Right.
And I still am. I really love not just the combinations with the plants, but the containers themselves can be a lot of fun, and we'll be talking about that as well. But you've brought some things. I want to just dive in and start talking about some of them. And one thing I used to do all the time was have winter shows of color. I've kind of drawn back a little bit from the annuals, but you've brought 4 spectacular containers just loaded with color. And this is something anybody could do on their front patio or in their apartment, doesn't matter where.
Well, yeah, and you can really get some great colors in the wintertime. People usually tend to shut their gardens down, but why not just keep going?
That's right. And you have a wide assortment of great annuals here, from pansies and violas to calendula, you name it. A lot of things that will tough it out in our Texas winters. Yeah,
and you can transition pots from summer to winter just by adding, as the summer annuals die off, you can just keep your anchor plants and add some winter color in there.
Yeah, you can keep anchor plants if you want, but you can also, sometimes it's better just to replace the whole thing.
Sure.
I think about going from winter to summer, and you get a lot of aphids and other kinds of things that tend to infest plants at the very end of the winter, as the plants start to collapse in the heat.
Right.
So maybe cleaning out all the soil is a good idea.
Yeah, and that's a good place for the compost pile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So don't let it go all to waste. Yeah. But again, nice color that you brought there. The next pot that I want to look at has a couple lessons for us, and this is a winter herbs pot.
Yes.
But it's not just herbs. You've mixed in some flowers. So that's really cool.
Yeah, well, I always like to get a little color in there, even if it's an edible garden or an herb garden. Why not have a splash of color? And so we have the alyssum in there.
Yeah.
And you've got some winter herbs, and again, you can change those out as the seasons change with some summer herbs. You could throw some basil or some thyme in there, or play around with it.
And you had talked about an anchor plant. You have that beautiful laurel at the center.
Yeah, and so eventually that may get too big for that pot, but you can. At that time, you could put it in a larger pot, or you can plant it in the ground somewhere.
Right. And one other thing about this, you have the tall plant, and you can always plant things around that, no matter what kind of tall plant you use.
Right.
And then that pot itself would make a nice complement to so many other kinds of pots.
Yeah, the shape on it and the low profile is really great, contrasting with even with a a rectangular pot or something taller. So.
Right. Well, speaking of rectangular pots, nice segue there, Marcus. This is you have this beautiful planting box here made of porous clay. With all these beautiful succulents in there. That's a show.
Yeah, the succulents and the sedums are just so fun to play around with. They're great filler plants, but they're great standalone plants as well.
Yeah.
And you can really play with the different textures and colors. And just get some fantastic combinations out of them.
Yeah. Well, this is every sort of win right here. This has got the great color combinations, the great textures. The plants all go well together. They're all adapted to kind of drier situations.
Right.
And you use the porous clay for this, I noticed, which dries out faster, which these plants love.
Yeah, a pot that breathes is always good, and one that drains well.
Yeah, so there's something to think about. With a lot of people love the glazed pots, but they don't dry out for succulents the way that you might wish.
Yeah.
And another nice thing about this is you've top dressed it to really make these cool plants pop out. And what did you use there?
Yeah, on that one we used lava sand, which really is a great color with the bright green and the different shades of greens and grays in there. So
yeah, good complement to the plants themselves. And again, I could see that container working with all sorts of other things around it, but that's a showstopper. Right next to it is a glazed pot, and these are really popular right now. This seems, I see thousands of these sometimes at nurseries.
Yeah, you know, there's been a big market on them, and really they come in all different colors and shapes, and they're really gorgeous and hard to resist.
They are hard to resist. That particular color, for example, on top of granite gravel, that kind of orange pink versus this, man, it just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Now this particular pot is one that you transition, right?
Yeah, that was actually a summer planter that we had. We had the Echeveria in there, and begonia, hypoestes, and I think there were some marigolds and other summer plants in there. And some of the annuals started dying off, so we just left the pot and just started plugging in some winter color in there. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to be talking about a new concept, at least to me. These are called smart pots. And I look at it and it's like, that's a smart bag. That's not a smart pot.
Yeah, and basically it is a bag. It's a grow bag, and it's just another way to look at container gardening. One of the things I like about them is they're very adaptable and versatile. You can actually use it to set in a nice container.
Right.
And then instead of having to, for instance, those glazed containers that are kind of heavy, you can just pull your bag out, dump it out, and start over.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times people don't want to fill the whole pot with potting soil because potting soil is kind of pricey.
It is, you know.
So you can use these, put something underneath it, and then use these to kind of lighten the pot, so to speak.
And you can also use it as a standalone, for instance, a raised garden bed where you just want to do something. Maybe you want to grow a cover crop in your in-ground garden, and this gives you a little spot where you can do some herbs or vegetables.
Well, I'm holding a small one here, and this is, you know, just a couple gallons pot size, and it's like a heavy felt material.
Yeah, and it actually originated in the nursery trade growing trees. They started growing trees in these bags.
Yeah, I've seen these in the nurseries.
And they have another aspect to them. They actually root prune the plants. The air prune, when the air comes into through the wall of the container, it actually prunes the roots, keeps them from going through the container, and you get a really nice fibrous root system as
well. Very cool new addition, if you will, to the plant world or garden world. We have another pot here next to us that, again, has some nice illustration points. I wanted to talk about this one just because it had a dianthus in bloom, and I'm crazy about dianthus. I think they're underused. Really terrific plant. It can go through summer or winter here.
Yeah, it really, you know, it's really considered either an annual or a biennial, but it acts like a perennial here in Texas. It just keeps on going, and a lot of different colors and different heights and sizes on the dianthus as well.
And again, a nice selection with a pot because it's porous and they like good drainage. It's in there with a succulent, which it would work very well with. And you also got some dwarf mondo grass in here, which looks great. And you've topped this one off with pebbles, which is a favorite technique I use as well. I think it works really well. I also like to use granite gravel as a top dressing.
Granite gravel is great. You know, you can use mulch. I've even seen some cool uses of the recycled glass and decorative glass out there. It's really pretty. So.
Yeah, especially the blue glass, man. That really makes it pop. Now, people wonder about care for plants in containers, and you've brought along some fertilizers or supplements for them. A variety of different things, and these are all organic products. That there's 3 different products here. Tell us a little bit about the different ones.
Well, the holy mackerel is a liquid seaweed, liquid fish product. I'm sorry. So that's going to give you your nitrogen for leaf growth and just keep your plants nice and green. And then there's a Kelp Me Kelp You, which is a seaweed product.
Okay.
They have some really cute names on these.
And Bush Doctor.
And then the Big Bloom, which is a great just general purpose plant food. So.
Well, and it does make a difference, I think, with container plants to give them a little boost now and again. These products really help. Starting with a good potting soil, of course, and you have a variety of those that you sell, again, all natural or organic, right?
Yes, and really I think potting soil is key. You know, go ahead and spend the money. If you're going to spend the money on plants, go ahead and spend a little bit on some good soil, and
Absolutely.
they'll do so much better.
Yeah, I always like to mix up things in as well, so make a little recipe.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus, it's been a great pleasure as always. Thank you for enlightening us or bringing these great plants in.
Well, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Okay, and again, Marcus Young from Bloomers in Elgin, and coming up next, it's Stephanie.